Hello people, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. This is Sorin and today we're gonna make a video about the 752. We spotted this tank live and it's the perfect time to review it. Why is that? Because this tank is the first Russian vehicle that is featuring an autoloader, and it's gonna take some people by surprise with this kind of firepower, actually bursting people with this kind of firepower. Why is that? Because we never had an autoloader in the game, so it's a perfect time to review it. And on top of that, this vehicle was spotted and probably is gonna be hitting the live server into a marathon event or probably the loot boxes once again as we had the TL7. Before I start this video, I really want to make a video. I really want to make a claim about the crew loadout. This vehicle it's featuring only 4 people, where the commander is the radio man, which means if we jump into the game real quick, we can see that it has pretty much the same loadout as it have the IS-2, the K2, IS-6B, and so on and so forth, which means you can only use your IS-4 or the Object 77 crew. If you want to use the ST2 crew, yeah, in this tank you have 2 loaders. So pretty much what you will need to do is to train. Like you cannot train your loader simultaneously. So if you have any of those tanks, the ST2, or the IS-7, yeah, you will not be able to. You pretty much need to train like one loader at a time. But the 704, actually the 705 has 4 members as well. So 3 out of the 5 vehicles will not have a problem using this vehicle as their crew trainer. And without having this out of the way, let's go ahead and see what we can compare this vehicle to. My picks are the S32, the Emil, and obviously the Progetto. Why the S32? Because this is a Russian vehicle that's featuring pretty much the same kind of firepower, but obviously you are a double barrel, you obviously can fire sequentially, you can fire both or a double. The Emil is an autoloader tank that is featuring pretty much the same characteristics. By my opinion, and the Progetto is just a vehicle that has low DPM but still it's pretty flexible. So in terms of the DPM, we can start off with a handicap for this vehicle, 1100 DPM. It's pretty lackluster. It's worse than the Progetto and it's worse than the IS-3 and the Emil. Both of these vehicles are capable of firing around a minute faster. So yeah, in terms of the DPM, this vehicle it's not gonna be the highest damage dealer, to say so. So you are gonna need long winded games to have a good score and so on and so forth. But can you penetrate enemies? And the answer is yes. You have 248 millimeters of pen on your AP rounds, and if you manage to load the premium, you have 218, which are much better. Much better than the 300 and actually not the 292 that you have on the APCRs on the S3, 300 on Emil on hit, and 303 on the Progetto. So in terms of ammunition, this vehicle it's capable of penetrating the enemies, maybe like E100, mouse, and so on and so forth, which are pretty good news. But in terms of the damage, it's kind of on the lower side. It's really decent for a heavy tank. It's 390, but yeah, Emil can fire for 400 and 400 for 400 for the Progetto and 440 on the Emil. And obviously, when they consider that you have lower alpha damage and you fire less rounds a minute, you can see where the problem is with this vehicle. In terms of the reload time, is 32 seconds. It's pretty much like the same playstyle as you have on the Emil. You are reloading for half a minute, then you just are scary. After that, you burst, or not really burst. You try to hit your shots because your gun handling is not the best, and once again you sit in the corner for 30 seconds doing nothing and probably considering what is going to be your next move. In terms of this kind of reload, I kind of like it, and sometimes I cannot really like it, obviously, because as I mentioned, with 30 seconds reload, you have enough time to consider what is going to be your next move. You can take a look at the minimap to see what's happening, you can create a plan and so on and so forth. And on top of that, the backside of 30 seconds reload, it's obviously you're out of the game for too much time. So yeah, talking about the burst, the intra-clip reload is 3.2 seconds, which is worse than you have in the mill, but it's better than the Progetto. And is it bad? Is it good? I actually think it's decent because this tank has really bad gun handling and it really needs all the time to aim. but 6.4 seconds, yeah, it's gonna take you quite a lot of time to deal this damage. Maybe you'll not be able to deal this third shell because the enemy got into cover, but yeah, it depended on the playstyle. So this thing is not gonna be able to burst that much like they have in the other competitors. Next, we have 122 millimeters, which is always good. You can overmatch 40 meters plate, you can overmatch roof decks, you can overmatch engine decks, and so on and so forth. Maybe some German underflaps as well with that. In terms of the shell velocity, it's on the lower side, but I believe once you played 5-10 battles with this vehicle, you'll get used to. Obviously, you have those APCRs which can travel faster. I mean, they can travel around 1000 meters a second, which is pretty much as you have on the other tanks as a base. But yeah, the shell velocity is on the lower side, so you are not really made to snipe in this vehicle. But once again, you can make it work. It's not really that low, so people are gonna get used to it. Ammo capacity is pretty low. I mean, you can carry only one HE round, actually one HE clip to deal with paper armor because you have 530 times that by 3 probably you can you can one shot like a tier 9 tank destroyer, paper tank destroyer, and so on and so forth. So yeah, will you run out of ammo? I don't think really so, because your rate of fire like 5 rounds a minute. You are an autoloaders, you pretty much want to wait for your perfect time to strike. So yeah, probably on the later side you might run out of ammo, but realistically you have plenty of ammo. Next, the gun handling. Oh my god, this is where this vehicle, you can really see that it's Russian and really took a one for the team. 3.2 seconds aiming time, that's higher aiming time that you have on your intra-clip reload. 0.4 dispersion, that's pretty much part on part with the Emil, but Emil gets much better aiming time. And yeah, those vehicles are not really made to snipe. You can only play that, or you can play them only at 50 to 100 meters, and eventually maybe if you're like late game, just snipe at the back and snipe across the map. But yeah, try to play those vehicles as close as possible, because the gun handling will not you'll not like the gun handling at all. Moving dispersion, it is artillery piece kind of dispersion. That tank traverse, it's kind of bad, and the turret traverse 0.11 is actually quite decent. I mean, it's not like 0.08 as you have on the IS-32. I mean, in this comparison, the IS-32 gun handling is godlike. You don't even need to use vertical stabilizer, whereas on this vehicle, probably want to triple stack your vertical stabilizer with IRM with the experimental equipment just to make your gun much better. Next to that, you have 8 degrees of gun depression, which is really good for a Russian vehicle. I mean, the same as you have on the IS-32, which is really flexible on a reach line. You can play it comfortably. I mean, it's not the best as you have the Emil on or the Progetto, but for a Russian vehicle, 8 degrees of gun depression, it is really good. I mean, it's as comfortable as you have on the German vehicles or the American vehicle as well. So yeah, this vehicle is gonna be pretty comfortable to play on ridge lines. And can you get to the ridge line quick? Well, with 40 km/h top speed, it's manageable. I mean, pretty much you're gonna have the same kind of mobility as you have on the IS-32, because your terrain resistances are actually really decent, unlike you have on the Emil with, I mean, those terrain resistances are just horrific. The Emil on itself, it will never reach, even on asphalt, it will never reach its top speed, whereas this vehicle can do it comfortably, or even on medium, so it is gonna be pretty decent. Next, we have 12 km/h reverse speed with a healthy power to weight ratio, meaning it's gonna be quite quick on the map. I mean, it's not gonna be like really nimble as you have on the 277, but it will still get you from point A to point B, up a slope, and so on and so forth. So in terms of mobility, it is looking good, just as you have on the i3 too. In terms of the gun traverse and those things are not really important to me. It's a heavy tank. I mean, you can work with them. Just try to use your armor as effectively, and you never like you can get circle to death by the EPRs and the light tanks, but if you're gonna play with the heavies in the cities, then it's not gonna be a big problem. But where is gonna be the big problem of this tank? It's the armor. Hull armor, 195, 195 on the front, 140 on the side, and 330 on the turret. Yeah, this vehicle is gonna have a strong turret unless you use your gun depression. And just like you have on the Rinoceronte or the BZ, your yeah, your horns are gonna really pop out. But once you manage to fire, what you can do is just whoop, put your gun up, and those things are gonna disappear. But yeah, this is the armor on a rich line. I mean, yeah, this armor is like greater than an Emil, I think. I mean, let's load some premium rounds. Does it make a difference? Probably to the gun shield, but it's like T30, but this thing is gonna be like Russian's finest cooldown monster king. And yeah, this is gonna be a pain to to do damage towards it. So yeah, once again you fire, you put your guns in the air, and you just pull back with your 12 kilometer an hour top speed. In terms of upper plate, I mean it's really angled. This thing is 280, so yeah, it has a really chunky upper plate. The lower plate is good though. You can penetrate with tier 8s with standard rounds. I mean, it's balanced. It has the lower plate, of course. You have the weak points on top, but once again, a good player, once they know what they're doing in this vehicle, they will not let you. They'll just do this to you, and then boom, game over for you. You cannot do anything about it. Probably you can hit this thing, this commander headshot, whatever it is, but yeah, this vehicle is gonna look a bit like a Defender 2.0 that is having the autoloader and the gun, not the gun, what is called, the gun depression as well. So yeah, and next the side armor. Come on, just look at this. This is a V-shape hull with like space protection by the looks of it. So yeah, hit is not gonna go through. AP is gonna ricochet off. You can over angle and yeah. Do we really need this in the battlefield? Probably not, but yeah, they'll make it to the battlefield somehow. Probably you'll need to spend again like 50 euros to buy this vehicle through the loot boxes, buying like tanks that maybe you don't need, just to be able to gamble for this vehicle. But this is just my theory, and everything is subject to change. And yeah, I mean, on flat ground, this upper plate is green, but once you're gonna use the rubble, it's gonna be the same story as with 279E. I mean, actually, even if you're facing this way, probably with premium rounds you can penetrate it, but yeah. Even side scraping is gonna be really different because you have like a side peak now, something like that, and this thing will become green, the same as you have on the 279E, pretty much. But yeah, I don't. It's like I'm getting chicken skin once again, the same as we had with I don't know what we had, the BZ or whatever it was. Um, so yeah, 1,750 hit points. Hmm, decent. It's better than the mill, but it's worse than the other vehicle in this comparison. So pretty much you have less hit points to put. So I believe that's balanced for that kind of armor, and somehow your mobility, actual mobility, your camo, it's better probably because you are slimmer vehicle and shorter, but yeah, this is the Object 752. How would I equip it? Well, let's max it out. We have now 1,810 hit points, which means you can probably use the the improved hardening. You want to put the terrain resistances thing to get yourself better mobility on the soft. Do you need the aiming speed for this part? I think I'll actually probably make it with the aiming time. For accuracy, probably because this is like horrendous kind of time. View range, actually you have 300 meters, 380 meters view range for a tier 9. That's not gonna be the best. And what we want to use is probably a firepower slot that's gonna be decent, and power output, which is gonna be 2 km/h reverse speed at cost of traverse speed. Yeah, that's gonna be a good setup for us. Next, our thing is gonna be, of course, we're gonna use the vertical stabilizer, and probably vents. Probably vent is gonna be another good pick on this vehicle. Probably like you want to double stack with the tier 2 or the tier 3 fire control system. Yeah, with the tier 3 you get kind of really good handling, and on top of that you get your aiming time lower, which is good. Next, if you put the brothers in arms, you put what do you put? You put smooth ride, you put snapshot, the situation awareness, and you start to get yourself yeah, kind of really comfortable gun handling. I mean, by this point you really have a good gun handling. And if you don't want to use the harden, you can just put the ventilation. But yeah, personally, with the ventilation, I don't think that's really the best piece of equipment. You either put hardening to increase your hit points, or you either put I don't know, maybe an aiming device, probably, or you can just put bounty rotation mechanism and get yourself like godlike kind of gun handling. But yeah, probably the bounty aiming device is gonna be decent. But yeah, this is once again up to you guys. Um, what do you think about this vehicle? I think it's once again a vehicle that it has something unique. I mean, it's gonna be the first autoloader, but is it balanced? That's gonna be the question. With this kind of gun handling, that probably you can work it down to this kind of specs, which are manageable. I mean, this kind of gun handling for this kind of a gun is gonna be pretty. I'm not gonna say that it's gonna be good, but it's workable. As I mentioned, if you play it at close ranges, it is gonna be decent. If you're gonna play on the cool down kind of terrain, 330 armor is gonna really dominate that thing. I mean, you have better turret armor than you have on the Emil, unless you obviously show your weak points. 8 degrees of wind depression is good, and the mobility once again is decent. I mean, I cannot say that it's bad. It's really decent. The shells are actually, the ammunition is decent as well. Um, I mean, the V range is actually, I forgot to put food as well. And with the V range, probably with really good crew, you with ventilation, you can get your V range up. But really, you're not a scout. You pretty much really need to focus all on your gun, because um, even if you're gonna be alone versus like 5 people, and you still have like 200 300 HP to boot, you can still get 1200 damage extra to your account by just making all of your shell count. That is gonna be my wisest my wisest saying. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty much the object 752 for our video. Um, Once again, something that we don't really need more word of text. This is gonna be, I think it is gonna be more annoying that you have the BZ 175, the 176 at your 8, because just look at that. I mean, obviously it's balanced with those kind of weak points, but yeah. Side armor, mm-hmm. Good luck pinning this. I mean, even APCRs, yeah, and not even APCRs cannot penetrate this. And just by look at this, you cannot even. This is such a wide angle. I mean, if you pick something like this, everyone will think that they're gonna penetrate, and it will just ricochet off. So, oh boy, I cannot wait for Christmas to spend all my money on this. But jokes aside, this is a subject to chain vehicle. This is why I super tested, so again can make the best decision to balance it out. And this was the video for today. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it was informative, and if it was, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. Bye bye.